Okay, I'd like to make a motion to open the New Paltz Town and Village Joint Board Meeting for June 3rd, 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
please.
Motion to open the village portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I second it, and I'd also like to add a few items to the agenda.
Okay, yes, I'd like to add some items too. And so go ahead, Tim.
So we have 3 items that we want to add. We have a resolution regarding home rule legislation. And this is in regard to the drinking water well project at Moriello Pool that will be alienating from the Moriello Pool property. And then the second is a resolution regarding bills and claims for the village. And then we also have a third item to add. It's a budget modification. Our village board has received documentation describing each of these 3 items.
Second.
Okay. And I'd like to add 2 items to the town's portion of the meeting. One is just a discussion and maybe board approval for reopening town hall to the public. I sent that around earlier today. And the other one is just to approve a PO for some work being done at the courts. It's and that's it. That's all I have. And so all in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. So announcements, the memorial, some town announcements. There's a memorial tree dedication in honor of former town supervisor Carol Roper. It'll be held at the community center on Sunday, June 6th at 3 p.m. Everyone is invited to attend. And on June 8th, we'll be having from 6 to 7:30, there's a public info meeting on the Henry W. Bicycle Pedestrian Project. You can register in advance, and that's on the town's website. So I encourage people to attend. And that's all I have for announcements. If anyone else has any?
I have a couple, if I may. Tomorrow, we're having an event at Peace Park for graduating New Paltz High School students for their participation in government project. Created some art that depicts the complicated layers of being an American, and they are having a Students for Social Justice showing of the art tomorrow at 4 o'clock in Peace Park. And they would like to come, they want to facilitate a conversation provoked by the artwork that they made. I also wanted to mention that we announced at our last village board meeting, the 2021 Social Justice Scholarship. The details of that are on the village board website. It's basically for students who have charted a path via their college education to create change and can demonstrate that what they want to do is change the world and have their college choice and their long and short and long-term career goals about the social justice activities they've been a part of and intend to do in the future. So more details about that. It's going to be, I think there was a couple of people that heard about it and they throw in some more bucks. We'll have a full list right now. I think it's over $600. And I guess I should also mention that the application deadline is June 18th, and we will announce the award on the 23rd. And then, Alex, do you want to do Pride or do you want me to do Pride?
Can you do it, please? Sorry.
Thank you. Alex is under the weather. So Pride is 2 days away. And there was a moment in time, but it was a brief moment that New Paltz thought for a millisecond that we wouldn't have Pride, but that didn't, that wasn't going to fly. So Alex, with the support of the village board, has thrown together an awesome Pride in the Park event on Saturday. What time is it, Alex?
It's 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. in Hasbrook Park, followed right after by a silent disco, which will be silent. And yeah, we have House of Peculiar drag performers performing. We have Resistorhood Choir singing. We have tons of great groups tabling. There will be tenants' rights divination, and what else we have? Voter registration, a pop-up skate park, a kids
pop-up
zone
park. That's
Yep.
awesome. All
It's
those
gonna
other
be
things are
awesome.
awesome too.
Yeah, the Maya Gold Foundation Youth Action Team is helping out with the kids zone and some other groups too. So it'll be great. And if it does have a terribly stormy day, which I don't think we will, the rain date is the following day, same time and place.
Great, thanks. Any other announcements? If not, I'd like to open the floor for public input. If anyone has any public comments, please raise your digital hand. I cannot see everyone's actual frames, so but I can. If you raise your digital hand, you can. You should. We're a year into this. I hope you guys have it by now. But you go down to reactions button at the bottom of your screen, then click raise your hand. If you're calling in, you can raise your digital hand by pressing *9. In the interest of time, we're asking people to keep their comments to 3 minutes. So. Tom Denton.
Thank you. I'm some of you already know I'm a member of the UACT Housing Committee, which formed because of our concern about the critical housing crisis in Ulster County and New Paltz in affordable and low-income housing. So we're particularly interested in the activity that has been reported lately about some specific projects. I just do want to make a comment about the pit. First of all, to say that I want to thank you, Tim Rogers, for getting into various sources some interesting documents about that have already been submitted about the project, which I have looked at. And I just want to call attention, because it certainly caught my eye, to a letter from the Ulster County Planning Department, which is, I guess, a pre-referral document or pre-referral recommendation. And if I can read it here off my camera here, there's a section that's called Design Review. Again, this is about the pit. We encourage, this is from the Ulster County Planning Board, we encourage the community to take a long look at the design of this project. I just want to emphasize the word community there. We encourage the community to take a long look at the design of the project. This is exactly what I think should be happening, that the community of New Paltz needs to be involved in this process of examining this project and other projects that are happening. We, of course, on our committee are particularly interested in affordable and low-income housing. And so that is one of our interests with this particular site. Following that, what I just read in that report is a section titled Housing. The B2 zoning district allows housing over commercial uses as of right in the zoning district. Given the need for housing within the community, and this was written last year, we encourage the parties to work collaboratively to incorporate housing into this project. The location location adjacent to the village core makes this ripe for the addition of housing. The village also has an affordable aside already established for that location. So again, I just want to note that this pre-referral report from the county certainly highlighted the need for housing in New Paltz and pointed to this site as something that should be considered for affordable housing, whether it is devoted entirely to that or includes apartments above businesses. Of course, that's to be determined. And again, thank you for getting that information out to the community. So we got something specific to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you. Jackie Brownstein.
Yes, hi, thank you. I want to just reiterate what Tom said. Our concern that there are so few opportunities in the village to create affordable housing. And I keep thinking back to what Dr. Wright said, that it is so key for communities to think about vacant areas in their community that could be developed for affordable housing. And obviously the pit is one of those. And as Tom said, a mixed use would be a very appropriate thing to do. I think, as opposed to a hotel in that area, we are really screaming as a community for affordable housing and for vacancies, which we don't have in the community. In addition to that, I just want to add that I keep hoping that the village and board, and since this is a joint meeting, and really appropriate to talk to both of you at this juncture, that you could get together and apply for that funding from the county to develop a housing plan. I think we desperately need a new housing plan. And I know there have been other iterations of housing plans, but considering the circumstances we find ourselves in at the moment, I would just encourage you, and I know that both the town and the village are very interested in developing affordable housing. And there's an opportunity here to get some funding to try to create a plan. And we were even thinking if you apply together, it could be more than the 25,000. So I just want to encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Thanks. Go ahead, Tim.
I just wanted to share in public comment almost as a response, and I thought it would be useful feedback for our group who's joined here tonight. So in terms of the pit project, that's currently being reviewed by the village's planning board. We have really strong members on that planning board. They will be neck deep in the seeker process. And, as Tom pointed out, we've been trying to encourage the community to engage and follow along via the planning board process. And then item number 2 that I wanted to share is that Alex Wojcik and I had a really useful conversation where we were brainstorming with County Executive Pat Ryan and Deputy County Executive John Milgram on Tuesday. Most of the conversation included a discussion about affordable housing and also making sure that we had adequate infrastructure, including water and sewer, to accommodate the types of projects that we would like to see constructed. And I left that meeting feeling very optimistic, and we have some next steps where we're going to formally ask the county for some assistance using their rescue plan funds that they're receiving from the federal government that could help us beef up the infrastructure regarding water and sewer in our community, so that we could actually realize lots of these goals in terms of affordable housing. So I just wanted to share that we had a very encouraging meeting with the folks in the county exec's office.
Any other public input? If not, I will hand it over to Amanda for the NRI presentation.
Hey, actually, Janelle is also here with me from the Climate Smart Communities Task Force that worked very hard on this resource for the community, and also our sponsor from the Hudson Estuary River Program, Nate Nardi Cyrus, who helped us along the way here. This is like the final step now for our document, for our project. We're very excited, but we have completed all of the revisions that were suggested by all of the good input we got from you guys. So the report is finalized, the maps are finalized, the online storyboard tool is finalized. And so what we would like to do is to be able to post these documents and these tools on the town and village websites, and as also have hard copies of the reports and the maps available for the town hall, the village hall, and Elting Library, so that people can go in and look at them, you know, hard copies or online. And we are also anticipating to have some YouTube type tutorials to help people with the online part of it shortly. So and be looking to doing a training session later this summer. I see Nate's there. Nate, did you have anything you'd like to say about the project?
Not much more than I haven't already added, but I was really happy to see the final products, and it was always a pleasure working with folks in New Paltz, and of course the consultants did a fantastic job. I think especially the online interactive mapper is going to be a great resource for the community, especially the planning board and local citizens who can use it to explore their own properties. So again, really happy with the project, and yeah. Thanks for applying.
So this, yeah, it represents over a year's worth of work and a lot of input from a lot of folks in the community. So we hope at this point that all of our elected officials are happy with this product and would be willing to approve it and accept it as the final version of the natural resource inventory tool for our community.
And just to tag on there as a reminder, it's kind of a two-part process. It's one, creating the tool and, you know, posting it publicly as our NRI, and we get 8 points for that as part of the Climate Smart Communities certification process. And then we get an additional 2 points if we adopt a NRI through a local law. So it's kind of a two-part question. And I really, I have to thank Amanda for an incredible year of organizing all of the community volunteers that contributed to this project, and coordinating with the consultants, because without Amanda, this would have been very difficult to pull that off. So thank you for all that you've done.
Okay. Well, and thank the DEC for the grant that paid for all of the hard work.
100%.
Excellent work the consultant did. But we are very proud of this NRI, and it is kind of, as Nate said, our online tool. It's a little bit unique, and I think unlike any others that are out there right now. And I think everyone's going to enjoy taking a look at it and using it. So all we're here for tonight is to ask the elected officials to actually, I guess, take a vote to approve the NRI and accept it as the natural resource inventory tool for the town and village.
So I have, sorry?
I said I would be happy to move that. I am moved by, you know, especially Amanda, your work, and you know, Janelle and Nate, you've put it really well, you know, showing Amanda, or highlighting the work Amanda has done. And I know it's not just Amanda, but also the way this is going to be such a useful tool, as Nate said, to, you know, our planning board, to residents. And I mean, it's a great day in New Paltz. So we
have we wrote up a resolution, joint resolution for the town and village boards using the language that Janelle sent us. So it's been posted online. I think the board members have seen it. So if everyone's okay with that, that would be the resolution to adopt it as the final version of the NRI report.
I motion to approve the NRI tool, and thanks everyone for making it happen.
Same here for the town.
Someone a second on behalf of the village?
Second, and thank
All in
you.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Second for the town?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Great. Thank you, everyone.
Yay.
Mhm.
We're very happy. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of your support too. It wouldn't have happened without all the people behind the scenes at the village and the town helping us out, staff. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you emphatically.
And Neil, for that, Amanda mentioned the second step, which would be potentially adopting a local law. Do we have any thoughts on that at this point?
I mean, I think we sent an email around and people were, I was hoping that we would start with the resolution and see how it goes. And we can always do a local law at any time later on. I mean, we have the language. It's just a bit of a process, but yeah, I mean, why don't we see how it goes and we can always do it later. That was my kind of feeling.
What would be the measure of, okay, it's time to pass a local law now? You know, I'm as a coordinator for New Paltz Climate Smart, I'm always eager to find points that we can get, you know, relatively easy. And sometimes let this go down the pike real far and be lost and forgotten. So what would kind of maybe be a mark when we want to revisit this question?
Can someone tell me what's the difference between this being a law and being using it as a tool that we've adopted and recognized? What would that mean if it was a law? How would that be different from what we've already just done?
Amanda or Nate, are you able to speak to that more specifically?
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. If it's my understanding that the local law that was circulated was from our Natural Resources Inventory Guidebook as a model law. And the difference between that and a resolution is that the local law would direct the use of that NRI in a more specific way than a resolution, which just kind of identifies it as a resource for the town. So some communities that have adopted local laws have, you know, there's two basic options. They can, as far as the model ordinance that we provided goes, it can either be a guideline where it says that the NRI should be used to inform planning in the town, or it can be use the term shall and make it, you know, mandatory that applicants use the natural resources inventory and the conservation analysis that comes before the planning board. And there's an example of a couple of communities that have done this before, notably the city of Poughkeepsie passed one, I think it's 2 years ago at this point. And they actually have a web mapper similar to yours that allows applicants to create an easy analysis and provide that to the planning board. So there's a bit of a discussion that needs to happen as far as whether or not the law should be designed to be a guideline or whether or not it should be designed to be mandatory for applicants to provide that information. So I could always provide examples of other communities that have kind of tweaked that local law to meet their needs, but there would have to be a conversation from your end to see how prescriptive the law should be designed.
Yeah, so I guess that we can continue to have that conversation about how prescriptive we want it to be.
That would be great. I wonder, who would we continue to, you know, follow up on this with? Would it be you, Amanda, or Janelle, or Nate?
Well, at this point, I mean, the tool is what it is. So now it becomes more of a, you know, a consideration of what kind of, how you want to use it, if you want to use it as some kind of a policy or as a guideline. So it really becomes, I think, a discussion on the boards as to how they see it. It could be used, most productively in New Paltz, what they feel comfortable with.
I think it might also involve, the planning board, do they think that they need this to be a law or a guideline, right? If applicants are coming before them and everyone refuses to even use it as a guideline, and people think that, well, maybe we need to be more specific about they need to use it instead of just we want them to use it. I think that would try to trigger, well, maybe it does have to be a law. But if people are using it and the planning board is happy, then I think that we can continue to have this conversation with the town board and the planning board. And if it's thought that it's needed, then I think that would make it more likely to be a law.
Can I just ask, we've seen Amanda using it on the planning board, but the rest of us have not had an opportunity to even really basically explore it at all. So with respect, before it became a law, we would very much appreciate the opportunity to do that, really take a look at it, have her show us and have an opportunity to examine it and see how it would apply for us at the least. And we're very happy to have it. And, we see how useful it can be from having Amanda show us once.
The question I have about this being a law is I feel like, it has so much interesting data pulled from a variety of databases, by definition, these are useful guidelines. How could this then become a law? Then like these databases, it's kind of like what we had a discussion about previously. It's like it shows interesting things about different types of habitats, and these are guidelines. Like, does someone really know whether this particular species does or does not cross a particular line identified in these mapping tools? I don't see how this could be more rigid than just a guideline.
I mean, read today's paper, like this actually came up in Gardner. There's an article in today's New Paltz Times about it, about whether just because it's identified as bog turtle habitat, are there actually bog turtles there, right? And so, I think it's worth continuing the discussion. For me, I think the first step is we adopt it because we think it's a useful tool, and then we see if we need to up it to a law. Based on input from the planning board and how applicants receive it. I don't think we want to jump right into anything just yet.
Right, and I would hope that it's considered not just a tool for only the planning board, but for planning purposes in general. For any, so whether it's the elected officials, or whether, considering any other type of action or policy, because it is very comprehensive. It's encyclopedic, it's compendial. It pulls together all this disparate information about New Paltz. And yes, it is about habitat, but it's about all kinds of other things too, cultural, recreational, just so much that historical about New Paltz. So I hope that people view it as not only a thing to use when you're thinking about where a bog turtle lives, but also about all the facets of New Paltz that might be of interest or of use to know about, no matter what kind of thing someone might be thinking about. So I agree with you, Tim. It's kind of hard to say, how do you make it real prescriptive? Because it's hard to get it, maybe it's not so, we don't want it so narrowly focused. It would be something to keep more broadly, as a broad approach for anyone and everyone to think about. But I hope that people find it useful when whatever they might be considering, even if it's just well, whatever, I don't know. You can imagine so many things. There's so much information there. Yeah.
One thought I've had is that perhaps we should consult with the city of Poughkeepsie, since they've adopted their law, what have been the implications of that? Maybe that will help inform us as to whether ours should be more along the lines of a guideline or being more mandatory. I think that might be interesting to see what's happened with Poughkeepsie.
Ingrid had her hand up.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so getting back to Tim's question, I was going to say there are parts of the code, like in the site plan and subdivision regulations, that may specify what sort of information should be included in a site plan or subdivision plat, and in that application process. For example, in the town's cluster or conservation subdivision regulations, I can't remember what they're referred to specifically as, the sort of information that shall be considered in the conservation analysis for a cluster subdivision, for example. So those are places where there could be cross references built into the code through this type of local law that would say, as part of that review process, this information shall be consulted. And it's a way of directly making a link to this reference document. It's not, I think the way the local law is set up, it doesn't protect a resource. It's just really specifying the information that should be consulted in the course of reviewing a project. And in some cases, it could refer specifically to the seeker process, the sort of information that should be consulted in the determination of seeker. So, and it could be narrowed down to certain types of projects or projects of a certain magnitude, for example. And I definitely agree with Janelle. It would be very helpful to talk to the planner in Poughkeepsie about their experience. She presented on a webinar a few months ago and talked about how they've used it and implemented the local law, and some challenges or ways they're thinking of maybe tweaking it. For example, in the more urban center of Poughkeepsie versus outlying areas of the city that have more natural resources present, like they're, which may be relevant in particular for the village. There may be parts of the village of New Paltz where this law, it might make sense to use the NRI in a different way, or to do kind of like a generic NRI analysis that would apply more broadly in the village, in parts of the village versus in areas that have more open natural land. So those are just some ideas.
Yeah, and I think to echo Ingrid's point, another way to frame this would be that you're just you're formalizing the fact that this is the NRI is kind of the common set of facts that that both applicants and and the town are drawing off of. And if you cross-reference within town code, that kind of reinforces that, but it kind of makes it a little bit less squishy when it comes to where you're going to be getting data to to represent points that you're trying to make. So I think it's just important to emphasize how this can be transparent for not only the town, but also for applicants that come before the planning board.
Do you mind if we go ahead and move the items that the village added to the agenda?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we have a resolution declaring support for home rule. This is legislation. This is in regards to the alienation of the 2 drinking water wells that were drilled on the northern side of Moriel Pool Park property next to where the community center property is. And the reason that we need to move this resolution is because we're looking for an okay from the state legislature to officially remove the area where these 2 wells are, so that the drinking water can be connected to our municipal drinking water conveyance system. In 1982, the community of New Paltz received $50,000. So that was money that triggered the fact that the park at Moriello Pool has to go through a certain review process when you do a project like this. So there's many steps involved, but this will not impact how the pool property is used at all. These 2 wells have been tested for quality and yield, and I think Jackie, you asked about it in an email today, and it's a pretty straightforward project that just allows New Paltz to source more local water as opposed to buying the expensive water that we currently purchase from the DEP. If we can source more locally, that would be very beneficial to our community. So I motion that we move this resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then I motion that we move the resolution for bills and claims and the budget modification memo that we received. I'm moving
Second.
those two items together. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Hey, the next item for new business, we wanted to have a discussion about joint meetings. We weren't able to get quorum for the last joint meeting, and so we had a discussion at our last town board meeting. We would like to switch the monthly joint meetings to every other month. Everyone's very busy, have a hard time going to as many meetings. I think obviously you guys have the same issue. You're missing 2 members tonight. Our ask is that we switch to every other month for joint meetings. And if there's nothing on the joint agenda, then we just don't have it. And so we wanted to talk about it, but.
So, I mean, maybe I'm just like dying of a migraine right now, but how would that be easily communicated to the masses? I just can't even imagine myself in a former clerk position being able to keep track of whose turn it is when, like, is there
We could
an
write it
easy
down.
way
We could
to,
write it down and put it on the calendar.
We could do that at the reorg meeting. Isn't that what we already do at the reorg
Yeah.
meeting? We list all our meetings, and so they're on the calendar for the year.
Yeah.
I
we
would caution against taking them off the calendar. I thought my last joint meeting was my last joint meeting, but apparently I'm with y'all till the 7th. Just leave it on the calendar. So when you can come, you come. When you take it away, it's hard to put it back. We have gained, derived, built so much goodwill with our community, the way that we've been working together and the regular camaraderie and cooperation that they see. I don't know, maybe it's, many of you know how damaged I am from local politics about 10 years ago. It's night and day to me, and it was hard fought. So I would be really hesitant to backpedal on it and just leave it on the calendar.
I think it's more confusing to leave it on the calendar. I'm saying this, we will not be doing joint meetings every month. The town board has decided. We
were having a conversation. I thought that was.
We're telling you what our
See,
decision
look,
was.
we're already falling back in. There's snarkiness. It's like not cool.
well, yeah, that's going to be confusing moving forward, but hey, here we are.
Yeah. So
I think it's part of the job.
So this brings us to the town board portion of the meeting. The village has nothing else. You guys are welcome to stay around. But I'd like to make a motion to authorize 1A through 1E on the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then we have some discussion about the reopening town hall. I don't think it's really required, but I wanted to make sure the town board had buy-in from this. We ran this by the town's labor attorney. And so my proposal for reopening town hall and town offices in general is I sent this around, but it's basically just follow the CDC guidelines and the New York State guidelines. So people have to provide proof of vaccination. And if they do not provide proof of vaccination, they have to wear a mask. But if they have proof of vaccination, either employees or visitors to town buildings, they're allowed to take their mask off.
I'm very much in favor with that approach, Neil.
Anyone else have any thoughts? I think it would, I mean, we could do it on a voluntary basis. I think it would make some of the town employees feel more comfortable to know that people were actually vaccinated. I think it would make other visitors as well feel more comfortable as well. So that's just why we're doing the proof. And the proof would be this is right off of the state guidelines. It's paper form, digital application, or the state's Excelsior Pass, which I think is a really nice setup. I have it. It works out pretty well. You know, and it would also be, you know, if you can't maintain social distance, same thing for vehicles. If you're in a vehicle as a town employee and you're with another employee that has not proven that they're vaccinated, then you have to wear a mask.
I'm okay with that, Neil. I mean, I think that more and more places are going to be doing that. I think it's going to become pretty common. So I'm okay with that.
Okay, great. All right, I will present this to the I'll send this around to the department heads tomorrow. So thanks, everyone. The last is the I just added the table. It's authorization to approve the use and expense of the MTI mechanical testing for FLIR thermal scanning services at a cost of $1,800 per day for up to 2 days for the police court capital project. So basically what they're doing is they're going in with infrared scanners and scanning everything and finding any spots where there's leaks or, you know, missing insulation, and then they go and they touch everything up. And this is just on the recommendation of the architects. It's a kind of a final go through before they put all the walls up and making sure everything it's a tight, more efficient building. And so that's but they asked if we could approve that today at the meeting. So all in favor?
Well, Neil, just really quickly, just one quick question. You said so it's 1,800 per day for 2 days.
For 2 days, yep.
Okay.
And it's, you know, it's part of the budgeted capital project. So
Okay.
all in favor?
I think it needs a second, so I'll second it.
Great. Thanks, Dan.
Aye.
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 And that's all I have. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thanks, Neil.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Everybody.